always use recommendation systems from Amazon, right? We all are using all these stuff, and when we see that we earlier were not really using all this, right? And we were able to move forward and see these things available and use it. Similarly, in our workplaces also, we earlier used to work a lot of manual things, and we used to uh, make business decisions manually. But nowadays, what the trend is that people actually don't go with the hunches, right? People go with the data exactly. So they basically use data to make their decisions, analyze the risk, find out where is the better scope, which customers should be targeted, where the marketing should be done, how the marketing should be done, what else would be a better prospect, right? So if you see, here we have some data science trends. So if you see, the demand for the data scientists have increased very highly, and if you see here, there has been a lot of increase in the salary bands. Like initially, the data scientists used to have a lower salary, but now because the demand is increasing, we do not have many people out there. So basically, because of that, the salary band has also increased. Here, if you see the best jobs posting, so at the top you have machine learning engineering, and then other job roles come in. Here you can see that we have several tech giants who are already investing in machine learning and AI, like Google, IBM, Salesforce, and TCS. And even these companies have declared internally that this particular age, the coming years are for AI, and whatever resources they are hiring, they are majorly putting them into AI and machine learning. So even with that word, you can understand that how much demand is there. Now, the question is that why these top companies are hiring data scientists. So if you see, initially what used to happen is like, let's skip the other example. Let's talk about my niece, okay? So my niece is 2 years old, and she actually uses her phone and YouTube's a particular video by talking about it. So basically, she would say maybe Chota Bheem or some other show's name, and then by she would search it out. Or my grandma uses the same thing. So they don't really know how to type in things, right? At those age groups, those people don't really know how to use those typing and how to use phones exactly, but they know, okay, we need to go to YouTube and just click on the mic option, and then you'll be able to search. So these things were not possible earlier. Now these things are possible because of machine learning, and people are able to make the searches like that. Right. So again, why other companies are using it? Because these are being implemented. There are a lot of things which are being implemented using machine learning and AI. And the most important thing which they are using it for is the decision making. Initially, companies used to make their decisions on basis of their prior experiences and hunches, but now they are really interested in the data. So they are basically analyzing their data, finding out patterns from it, and then making their decisions. That basically helps making their decisions more concise and more appropriate, right? So basically they are dependent on the metrics, and they want to make real time decisions. So let's say you have a particular cell phone tower, and it is having certain data related to it. So, or maybe any other industry, you have certain data associated with it, and you are basically monitoring that. So if you are having a real time monitoring of the data, and you have applied machine learning on top of it, you won't have to really wait for it to go down. You won't really have to wait for it to basically shut down. You will be having the data, and you will be able to predict that, okay, this cell phone tower may get some problem in coming days, right? So that is the kind of technology which we are talking about. And even in our workplaces, initially we used to create reports ourselves. We used to maybe do certain things in different ways, but now everything is shifting towards AI. When you even go to a particular doctor, let's say, so when we talk about, let's say, any role, not just doctor or not just a data scientist or not just any particular role, let's talk about any industry and any role. So in that case, let's say you are going to a particular person and they have to manually check something, they have to manually do something, and there is another person who has the technology which could give you better results, make better prediction. Maybe a doctor who could predict cancer way early and way accurately in comparison to a doctor who would take some time to predict that. So you would obviously go to someone who has the better technology. And that is the reason why people and organizations are hiring people who are in that particular in that particular technology. So who are using data science and AI.
Unmuted.
Mansi, are you there?
Yeah. Okay. So basically that is what we are talking about, right? And the thing is that companies are facing challenges in handling the data and making those decisions, right? So they need certain people who could actually do that. But at this moment of time, there is a shortage of such people. So we don't really have so many people who are basically skilled in Python also and machine learning also, and they know statistics also. We don't have so many people like that. And even if we have such people, even if we have people who know machine learning, they would be lacking somehow in maybe statistics or mathematics. So that is something which is a very core thing. That is something which is very much very close to data science. So we are focusing on that particular thing. Now, I see people are coming from different domains here. People are coming from QA, PHP, Java. People are like, you guys are looking for a basic shift. Now, is that shift really worth it? Like, would it be a secure thing to do, right? So, what we can say is that basically all the jobs would be taken over by AI based rules. So, all the roles will be basically switched to someone, like someone who does not really uses AI would be basically replaced by someone who uses AI. And that would be happening in all the roles. Even if you like if you are using a particular tool, maybe you will have to implement AI there, or maybe you will be using AI somewhat there, right? So everything would be shifting. There will be a shift of job space basically. So which will inherently create jobs also, which is actually happening right now. There are a lot of jobs which are being created in this particular domain. Now the next question is like, would you really fit in? Okay, so first of all, there are three main pillars of data science, that is mathematics, computer science, and domain expertise. So when you join a particular organization, so they won't really expect you to have a domain expertise at the very beginning. That is something which will come with the flow. You will learn it on the go, right? Then there is mathematics and computer science, which is the main focus of this particular program. So we will be focusing majorly on mathematics and Python. We will cover both the things very deeply, and then we will go ahead with the machine learning algorithms. Next question is like, is it easy to make the transitions? Because maybe you don't really know mathematics, or maybe you don't really know programming, you do not have much programming experience, or maybe you have programming experience but it is in some other language, right? So how would you do that? So the first thing is there is no prior coding experience required. So even if you don't really know programming or you don't really know how to code, so then also you can learn it, because Python is a very easy to learn language, right? When we will be teaching you, we will be giving you a lot of examples, a lot of assignments, which would basically help you improve your coding skills. Then the process which is followed in data science and machine learning is well defined. So you know what all steps you would be performing. You just need to know how to do that, and we will be giving it out to you, right? Then how much coding would you really have to do? So there is a line between data scientists and researchers. Okay, so when you work as a data scientist, you will not have to code a lot, because there are already a lot of libraries and a lot of uh, okay, so there are already a lot of libraries and tools which are available, which already have the pre-written codes. So what you will have to do is you will have to use those libraries and apply logic on top of it. Okay, you don't really need to bother about what is happening behind the algorithm, and you just need to know how it is working. So when you know how it is working, in that case you will be able to tune it better. So basically you will be able to improve the model. Your main concentration would be how to improve your machine learning implementation instead of how to really implement that, right? The basically you will need to know, but there would be a limit to it. You don't need to go into the in depths of those algorithms. Now the next question is, which exact language should you be focusing on? Python or R or SAS, right? So here if you see the comparison of the most popular languages and softwares, Python comes at the top, then comes R, and below that you have SAS. So when we talk about SAS, like everything started with SAS, okay? Everyone was coding in SAS initially, but right now it is kind of obsolete. There are some legacy projects which are using SAS, but nothing more than that. Whatever new projects are coming up, they are using Python, okay? So when we talk about data analytics and visualization, in that case, R is the go-to language. So when you're focusing on data science and machine learning, you will have to learn Python. That is a short thing. And you will be able to use basically data analysis and visualization in that. You will be able to do it using Python. It is very well and very properly provided there. But in case you want to learn R separately, that is completely your call, but that is not a necessity. But learning Python is a very necessary thing, because the higher algorithms and the tools which are present in Python, they are not present in SAS or R, right? So everyone in every organization, all the projects are majorly running on Python. Now, what is the recommended learning path? So the learning path is basically knowing the Python. So we will be training you the entire Python. And after that, we will be moving to the second pillar, which is statistics. So we will be learning statistics completely. And then we will be taking up the machine learning tools like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, Scikit-learn. Then we will go to the very basics of machine learning, that is cost and gradients, which is basically how the code how the code improves your model in the backend, right? Then we will learn about different types of machine learning algorithms, get to know the mathematics behind it, and then use it. Okay, so this is the complete path which we will be going through, and we will be learning NLP also in between. So now what we will be doing is we will be having basically a completely practical hands-on based approach. We will not lose much on the theory. We will be learning on the go, and we will be basically learning all the concepts and directly implementing them. Then we will have assignments at every topic. At every point of time you will have to do assignments, and from the very beginning you will be working on your projects, and there will be 5+ industry level projects. So these are projects which are not like, you will be having projects which is from the very basic level to a advanced level of a project. And if you want more data sets and more guidance on how to go for the very top level and advanced projects, we will be doing that also. Apart from that, we will have a final assessment and your project reviewing. So basically I will be hand holding you all the time. You will be doing the project coding and you will be coming back to me uh, and showing me the results, and I will tell you how to improvise that. And then we will have the final assessment, we will have the interview preparations, and I will be giving you the CV guidelines. Okay, so that you are completely interview ready, and you will be basically knowing the entire end-to-end process, how to do what part of the data science life cycle. Now I have given a long talk. I have a demo prepared for you after this, but prior to that I want you to ask questions if you have any questions about, maybe any doubts about switching to machine learning or anything like that. We are open for questions.
Hello, ma'am. It's me, Sushmit.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I have this doubt, and I searched it a lot of places, but I couldn't get a satisfactory answer. Which is this key word, ma'am? What is the difference between machine learning and data science and data analysis?
Okay. So there are very well predefined lines between data analysis, machine learning, and data science. Okay. So let's
Mhm.
talk about data analysis first. Okay. Data analysis is basically, let's say you have a data set. Okay. You have a lot of data. Okay. Now, when you are performing data analysis, you are basically trying to find out what is the relationship between different entities in your data, right? How data is varying with one feature to another feature. So let's say I have a data about education, and I have a column, say age, or maybe a particular background a person comes from. Okay, so we will be able to find out if age is a factor in your education level, or the background is a factor for your education level. Okay, so we will be able to find out different relationships inside the data while we are using data analysis. Okay, this is one thing. Now when we
Okay.
talk about data science and machine learning, okay, first of all, machine learning is a part of data science. Okay, it is basically a, you can say, a subset of data science. Okay,
Okay.
in data
Mhm.
science we have an entire process. Okay, what that process is, so in data science what you have to do is, you will have to first of all find out a problem. Okay, then you will be basically finding out what exact solution should be given to a problem. So for that you will have to basically analyze the data, you will have to transform the data, find out different datas, and basically find out which features are actually important for the data. Okay, you will have to do data analysis also, you will have to do data engineering also. Okay, then comes the machine learning part of it. Okay, under machine
Mhm.
learning you will be implementing certain algorithms. Okay, and those algorithms will be basically helping you out to make the predictions, or to find out that how a particular variable or feature is varying or impacting your target. Okay, so let's say I have something like maybe interest rate prediction, very basic info. So I'm trying to find out what interest rate should be charged for a particular person's loan request. Okay. So in that particular case you will have certain features, right? So basically based on all those features like age, their credit score, and if they have a home or not, or do they have any dependents or not, right? Or and their salary. So based on all these things I'm trying to find out what interest rate should be charged to them. Okay, so this particular prediction which we are making is basically machine learning. It is being implemented using machine learning. Okay, and
Oh,
everything which goes around this is data science.
okay.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
how you use these predictions and all, that is a part of data science. So basically you can say machine learning is kind of embedded in the process of data science.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
yeah. Any other questions? Because if you will ask these questions then you will get a clarity, right? So it's better, it is a good place to ask these questions.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi Mansi. This is Pukraj this side.
Hi.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask you. I've been working in like mixture of industries. Like I've worked for IT also. I worked for sales also. Now I want to direct my attention towards this data science and machine learning thing. So as a
Mm-hmm.
fresher, how much like salary or how much pay grade should I be expecting?
Okay, see, can you tell me how many years of experience you have?
I have 3 years of experience.
Okay, so you have 3 years of experience. Now let's talk about stats. Okay, so when a fresher joins a particular company, okay, so if you are maybe from say IIT or some other colleges like that, so in that case you will be expecting a package of say 50 lakhs, 70 lakhs or something like that. So we are not really talking about that. Okay, so let's talk about a normal fresher in India. So when a
Okay.
normal fresher joins in IT industry, okay, they usually have a package from let's say 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs. Okay, and you may get say 10 lakhs or 11 lakhs if you have very high knowledge quotient, and you maybe you are hired by Paytm or any other startups like that, right? So the major fresher goes to an organization, maybe TCS or IBM, and they give you around 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs, something like that. Now, when you join with the same fresher, if he joins data science with machine learning, when he joins with this tech, he gets double the package. So basically, he gets 1 lakh per annum.
Mansi, we are not able to hear you. Hello, Mansi. Man,
Hello?
yeah,
Yeah, can you tell me where you lost me?
yeah. In between you were.
Okay, so let's say basically when you are a fresher, you get around 3 to 4 LPAs, and when you join with basically a machine learning and data science, you get a package of 7 to 8 lakhs. Okay, now when you talk about progressions, what happens is that in normal technology, you will be getting a progression of say 1 or 2 lakhs as a progression, and that too even if you are getting a very good ratings, then you are getting a progression of 1 or 2 lakhs in the next year. But when you talk about data science, you can directly skip and you will get a progression of around 4 to 5 lakhs, or maybe at minimum, if I talk about it, it would be around 3 lakhs, right? So basically how you progress in other technologies is different from how you progress in data science. because it is completely dependent on the demand, right? You see, there are a lot of people who are already working in Java and PHP. We have a lot of resources there. So companies need not pay a lot to them, right? Because there is already a very high amount of people, high number of people who are ready to join in. But when you talk about machine learning and data science, the proper skill set, the number of people are very less and the number of jobs are very high. So that is why you will get a better package. So instead of thinking about where you will begin, think of where it will lead you. Okay. So if you join in, maybe let's say at 9 or 10 LPAs in next 6 months, even then you will be able to progress to say 12 or 13 LPAs by the next year, right? So that is the kind of progression which you have in data science and machine learning.
Okay, thank you so much.
Any other questions?
So Neeraj, Raja Srinivas, Pankaj, Pukhraj, Rinki, Sagar, Sandeep, Sanjeev, Santosh, Sudhanshu, Sumana, Susmit, Vaibhav. Any question, guys? Abhishek, Anshul, Anraj.
No, no from my side. No, man.
Mansi, I have a question. Like machine learning is the subset
Yeah,
of
go
data
ahead.
science. Uh, what is like
Mhm.
what comes in the data science? Like what are the main things in the data science? Because machine learning is only a part of data science, and we are
Yeah.
learning about machine learning in this forum. So what comes in the data science? Can you please explain it?
Okay, see. So when we talk about this particular course, you will be learning not just machine learning. Okay. So first of all, let me clarify that. So in this particular course, you will be learning machine learning and the data science process also. So basically, you will be getting an end-to-end knowledge. Okay. So in case of data science, what in machine learning, what you have is you have the algorithms only. Okay, you have supervised learning and unsupervised learning, which is basically the two types of machine learning algorithms. And internally, you have a lot of algorithms which are present in machine learning. This is basically how you implement the machine learning algorithm. Basically, how you implement predictions and clustering and all. Okay, that is machine learning. When you talk about data science, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I'm able.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, now when you talk about data science, you will have different different processes. Okay, so the first step in the process is you will be
You are not audible, Mansi, now. Hello?
Mansi, somewhere it is lost. In here? I guess we lost her. But, okay, let her join back. Okay, in the meantime, let me share my screen and I can show you guys about the course. So this is the course. Was about, I mean, she has delivered, she has taught 500 plus students, and refer me group you can go and search on Google. So I'm not going on that. So here is the course detail. You can see on my screen that we will start from Python. That's a very basic. Then stats, and then ML tool. That's NumPy, Pandas, and other tools. Supervised learning, unsupervised learning, Ansible learning, NLP, ML basics. This is the course map, which you can see, and this is a complete course, approximately 40 hours. So Mansi will let us know exactly how much time will it take to complete. I guess she is joining. Mansi, are you
Yeah,
there?
hi. Yeah, sorry, I got disconnected. The network issues.
No problem.
Sorry.
No problem. Yes. So Rinki has asked one question, and you were supposed to answer on that.
Yeah. Uh, was it regarding the process, basically data science versus machine learning?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, actually, I just did answer that. So basically, in data science, you have a complete process which includes your data, getting your data, then transforming your data, then implementing statistics on top of it, basically to find out if your data is correct or not, and all those things. And then this particular data which has been transformed is pushed into the machine learning algorithm. Okay, so you will be learning this entire thing. So you will be learning how you transform the data, and everything you will be learning. So it's not just a machine learning course, it is basically um, the entire data science course, you can say, because we will be
Actually,
covering the process.
yeah, but in the data science, I think there are some tools also like Tableau and rest of
See, when
means
you
there
when you
are.
talk about, yeah, when you talk about Tableau, right, it is mainly a data analytics tool. Okay, so when you so let me give you a practical thing. Okay, so when you become a data scientist, in that case you will be using more Python tools, and basically these libraries mostly to do the data analytics. Okay, because you will be doing a lot more than what a analytics person would be doing, basically a data analytics person would be doing, right? A data analytics person would be using Tableau. Okay, so when you go to an organization, you won't be doing everything, right? There will be a team, and these teams would be subdivided to do the different tasks. Okay,
Okay.
so when you will be working, you won't need Tableau itself. You can learn it when time comes, if there is requirement. So it is not a necessity. We are picking up the required things in the data science, the major things which major organizations expect you to know. When they won't expect you to know Tableau, because for Tableau they will have entirely a like they won't really expect you to know everything about this, right? You are not working as a DBA. Similarly, you're not working as a data analytics person.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's a question from Sumana, like if there is someone who is not from computer science background, so if also join this. So yes,
Some
anyone who is interested in machine learning and data science can join this course, because whatever you will be learning in your computer science background, we will be teaching that to you. We will be teaching the Python, the programming part of it. So you don't need to really have a programming background or computer science background for this. Any other questions?
So Abhishek, Anshul, Kusuma, Surya, Krishna, Manmeet, Neeraj, Rajesh Srinivas, Pukhraj, Sagar, Rinki, Sandeep, Sanjeev, Santosh. Any question, guys? Sudhanshu, Sumana, Susmit, Vaibhav. I don't know 108 who is 108.
For me, yeah, for me, most of the things are clear. Mansi has answered so many questions throughout the session, and it's clear now.
Okay, thank you so much for your concern. So, guys, let's come to a part of this workshop. And Mansi, how many number of hours we will complete? We will give to this workshop.
Yeah, so normally it takes around 30 to 35 hours, but it completely depends on how fast and how slow everyone wants to go. So it will be around 30-35 hours.
Okay, and one more question. Are are you going, or are I mean, the people will get any certification after completion?
Certification, basically, if you have the certificates, you can provide them, right?
Yes, so let me cover that part. Refer Me Group will issue the certificate of your
Yeah,
participation, and we will do one
perfect.
assignment with you guys. Once you have to clear the exam, and we will give you the certificate of participation. One thing. Second thing, Mansi, this question comes not only in my
I
mind, but
think,
Mhm.
yeah, apart from the assignment, I feel that the project should also be included. So
Yes,
based on the
yes,
project and assignment, the certification would be given.
yeah. And one thing, Mansi, which comes in my mind, and I hope everyone has this question, but
Yeah.
let me ask. Right now, everyone is working somewhere, right? A few of people like uh, fresher, but like people are working in their current career. Like some of them are developers, some of them are from a QA, some of them are from architect background. How they can switch in their current role
Yeah.
into a data science? I mean, how you are going to help? Will you provide any kind of resume preparation, interview preparation, and update the resume according to current market? How that is going to help, and how that is yeah, that will be helpful to crack the interview?
Yeah. So basically, we will be giving the CV guidance and the interview preparation guidance, right?
Mhm.
So as part of that, they will be able to update their resumes and create a profile according to the requirements of data science. Now they will have two things in hand. So what they can do is they can apply for jobs on different portals, and simultaneously they can uh, pushing in their particular organization to be moved in data science and AI. And I'm sure that if the organization has AI domain and they do not have a lot of people out there, they will surely take in with someone with the skill set which we are providing, because I've seen a lot of people pushing and changing domains and technology internally in the organization.
Okay, because this comes in everyone's mind that in my current job, why I should not explore. Like for example, if I talk about QA, so people, or I can think like, why I not explore in automation or in learning Selenium or Java? Why I should go to learn
Mhm.
machine learning or data science? So guys, let me answer on that question. Definitely, you can learn. You can go and learn automation. There is no doubt, right? But the thing is, in current scenario, the current expectation for the company is increase, like they are looking like a scientist. Even in interview, I can tell you, I have taken around 1,000 plus number of interviews. So the expectation is that I need to hire a scientist, the organization expectation. But when people come inside the organization, they do either manual work or they do a little bit automation work that doesn't require. But in interview, the expectation is very high. So the one path which usually we can select is, that is I learned Selenium, JMeter, API, CI/CD, and DevOps, and a cloud. Now they have also included. So I learned these things. Or second, upcoming market, like I can learn any cloud computing, or I can learn data science, or I can go for learn RPA. These things. So data science, these are upcoming technology. Even after COVID or after Corona, the market will drastically change, which we cannot deny. Like, I am not going to scare you something, but this is a real fact which we are aware. Mansi, next question my to you, and that is a genuine question which people ask. The same course is available with Udemy on a very less price, like 600, 700 rupees. Then why I should opt
Mhm.
this course for in 1,000 rupees, or some couple of thousand rupees?
Okay. So
Uh,
first of all, I have seen all these courses, right? I have seen the courses on Udemy. I have seen the courses which are present in Coursera. I have seen all of these courses. So the first thing is the kind of project which these courses have are not up to the standards. They basically have a very basic or primary data sets which they are providing, and they give you the assignments like a basically like a fill in the blank kind of a thing. Okay, so basically they provide you everything. They basically create courses so that you will feel that you know everything, but somehow you will be lacking.
Mm-hmm.
But when we have this particular course, we will be training you so that you will be able to handle everything.
Mm-hmm.
You will be able to work end to end.
Mm-hmm.
Even I have created three different courses, okay, for different Udemy and different organizations.
Mm-hmm.
But even in that, if you compare, right, the thing is the difference between a live session and a recorded session is an entirely different feed. You're able to ask questions, you're able to get your resolutions at the very time. All these things really matter.
Yeah. Yeah. And let me complete on that again, guys. This is the only forum, and I can bet on this. Even in Refer Me Group, I never promote that you should come and join Refer Me Group. You can go and join any of the institution like Udemy. Rather, you need not to spend money on Udemy. You can go and learn from YouTube as well. But like Rinky has joined one of the course with Refer Me Group, and you can go and check on Google about Refer Me Group, how we deliver. So I'm not promoting that no, you should come only for Refer Me Group. You can go and learn from YouTube as well. But the difference is that people, believe me, on Udemy, whatever they are doing, they are just, I mean, they are concerned with the money only, and they least bother that you are learning or not learning. They are prescribed practices and everything where there is a trainer. Uh, any mentor is not available. No discipline is there, and people somehow they learn just to put the words in their resume. And once the actual interview comes, and nowadays the panel who is going to take interview, they are not like 5 years before it was happening. They just come from any background and they take interview. Nowadays people who are taking interview, they are really expert, and they judge you very easily that from where you have learned, or you have only learned, you have a practical knowledge or not. So it is your decision, but you have to make sure that you are learning from any path, right? You go again, I'm repeating, you go and learn from anywhere, that is your choice, but please upgrade yourself because of the current market situation. So any more question, Vaibhav, Susmit, Sumana, Sudhanshu, Santosh,
Yeah.
Sanjeev? Yep.
hi, hi Nitish.
Yep.
So I have one question. Like, if we will move in the data science, like field, so like our experience will consider in that field, or like we will consider as a fresher for that.
So Mansi can answer on this.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is that first of all, when you're working in a particular domain, right, you get the domain expertise also. So that will be counted as your domain expertise or domain knowledge, basically. And apart from that, you are upgrading yourself on Python and statistics, right? And you're programming also. So all these things, and if you're already programming, then that also gets included here because you have prior programming experience, so you have that logic building ability. Right. And there is one more question from Sumana, that how the course will be conducted, it is not really clear. So basically, in this particular course, what we will be doing is we will be teaching you Python. You will be going through a lot of hands-on Python activities. You will be doing a lot of assignments. Once you are clear with Python, once you are good to code in Python, then we will move to the statistics part. You will be trained on statistics, how different type of entities are found out, how sampling is done, how you do different kind of tests internally, and then you will be trained on data transformations. You will be doing the EDA and how you do the transformation. Everything will be given on in an hands-on way. Basically, I will be showing you the code snippets and I will be explaining those code snippets to you, and you will be coding those at your end also. And after that, you will be simultaneously working with me on projects. So I will be showing you a project, and simultaneously you will be working on your very own project with your or with an entirely different data set, right? So basically you will be going in a hand on hand approach. Okay. And after that, once you're done with the entire project thing, then we will be going to the interview phase and the resume building, or maybe you can build the resume simultaneously. So we can discuss that. And also, like, wherever you have questions, I will be anytime available to answer your questions and take on your queries. So that is obviously not an issue.
Thanks, Mansi.
Okay.
Any
So,
other question?
anyone has?
Hello, hi, Murthy.
Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt.
yeah, Manvi, please.
I was just wondering that you have told that you are delivering 30 to 35 hours of coaching. So I was wondering that how you are going to execute it, like on a weekly basis or on a daily basis.
So we will be having it on the weekend, because most of the people have their work commitments and other commitments during the weekdays. So we will be having the sessions on the weekend, and we will be having 2 hour sessions. So basically on Saturday you will have a 2 hour session, and on Sunday you will have 2 hour session.
Okay. And I was just wondering what will be the course fees, or like in the present market, there are a lot of institute like Upgrad is taking too much of fees, and I was wondering that what is the fees we have to pay for this course.
So, Manmeet, you tell me. I mean, my question to you: how much Upgrade is charging?
Um, just like 2 or 3 months back, I have consulted with them, and they are like 4 to 5 lakhs with job assistance.
Okay, and do you think that they provide the job assistance in
They
reality?
are actually giving the diploma of it,
Yeah, yeah.
diploma certificate of it, and they are giving. Yeah.
So, Mansi, my question to you again, a very good, a fantastic point Manmeet has raised. What is the difference in diploma and this course?
There is no difference in diploma and this course. The only difference is you will get the diploma and you will get our certificate. That is the only difference. Knowledge basis, I'm not sure how they are teaching, but for them, what I feel is like for different platforms, right? The trainers usually try to basically um, fix in all the things and like just fit in the content there without giving a lot of in-depth knowledge. But what we are doing is we are giving the entire knowledge, we are giving the mathematics behind it, we are basically making you industry ready. So in comparison to their course, the price would be less, but knowledge would be equally or maybe better. But I don't think it would be lower in any situation.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. So, guys,
But
yeah, Manmeet, please go ahead.
It doesn't give me the answer that what will be the actual charge of this course.
Okay, I'm coming on that, Hamid, because I just wanted to hear from your side how much these institutions are charging because of their brand
Yes.
and
Okay.
their marketing. So they take out from everywhere, right? So yes, now coming to the course fees, we have decided to put the course fees is 15,000 rupees for this. But even if anyone is registering today, registering means it is not you are going to deposit the complete fees. If you do just transfer any fee and secure your seat, so we are going to give a 3,000 rupees a flat discount, right? Ideally, the same course is available, and we are doing with other institutions like Mansi is engaged with other institute also, and Refer Me Group is also engaged with other institutions. So the same course we are providing at 25,000. Mansi, please correct me if I'm wrong. But here in Refer Me Group, the idea is
Yeah.
to help to the people. So that's why we have kept it a very low. That is a 15,000, again 3,000 rupees discount. So if any of you interested in registering today, we will give this discount. So overall, it will come 12,000 rupees, which is in the market available at 25,000. So you can, I mean, anyone can go and we can give the link and you can consult with those training institute for the same course where they are giving it 25,000 rupees. I hope, Manmeet, this is answering the question.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
So one more thing I want to ask you that is there a daily you will take the classes daily? Is there any other chance of
On
taking classes daily?
see, if even if we take the classes daily, right, you won't be able to practice, so it won't be worth it. It will be worth it if you do a regular practice, and you'll need that much period of time in your schedule to practice those things. So there is a need of having a weekend class.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so anyone else has any question?
Hello, ma'am. I have a question. Is it a individual class or a group class?
It would be a group class.
Okay, and how long it will take?
It will be around 30 to 35 hours of course. So
Okay.
based on that, we calculate.
So I mean, on the weekend, Sumana, it will be 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday.
So it will
Okay.
be around 8 weeks, you can say, around that. 8 to 9
Okay,
weeks.
and after completion, there is any job assistance?
Mansa, that's a good question. I mean, I do not do any false promise that no, we will place you. We will help you only by providing the job openings are there. The rest, it depends on you and depends on your resume if it is selected and you are going to crack the exam. There is no false promise. There is no false promise from absolutely. But yes, we will help.
If anyone from developer background, as I am a PHP developer, there is any advantages
Sorry, can you ask your question again, please?
from the developer background? There is any advantages?
That Mansi can answer on this question.
So because you are from development background, so you will be knowing the basically programming from the very beginning, right? You will be knowing how to program. So you will
Yeah.
know the basics of it. But anyhow, we will be covering the programming, right? So it will be equally good. It will be just easier for you to learn. Faster you can do it.
So there is no
Because you just need
advantages
to know the syntax.
for getting job
Obviously,
on
you
data
have
science.
for job, obviously you have programming experience. So in that case, what happens is like you will have, let's say you have PHP. So for PHP, maybe you will have some advantage on deploying the applications or something if the backend needs PHP. Similarly, if someone has a Java background and the application then have advantage.
Mansi,
It
some
depends
echo.
on the market and
Mansi,
the
some
application needs.
Mansi, some echo is coming from your side.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it is clear.
Basically, it's about that. So I was saying that if the backend application needs PHP, then it would be better for you. And if someone is from Java background, so it will be better for them if they have Java application in the backend. So it is basically help them in the integration part of it. So the organization would be looking for someone who has prior PHP experience or who has prior Java experience also. So that would be an add-on.
Okay. 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 So I hope anyone has any more question. Abhishek, Surya, Krishna, Manmeet, Neeraj, Raj.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So after completion of class, you have to send any videos, sir, on that class,
Yes, yes,
and
absolutely.
daily you are going to class.
Yes, yes. So online videos will be shared with you. WhatsApp group is there. Even after finishing of the workshop, if you have any doubts, so Mansi will be there. The group will be there. Apart from that, I will
Okay.
I mean, we have one more group of a WhatsApp where we share the data science related job in that group. So everything is there. That kind of. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for raising this point. So this assistance will be provided.
And it means on daily we are listening class, sir.
It's a weekend
So
class.
that class related video. Yes, sir. Weekend classes also be sended videos, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Videos and recording will be shared with you.
Because of sometimes internet issue or sometimes we may not listen, disturbances are occurred on the directly going to online class. That's why I'm asking, sir.
Yes, yes, you are absolutely valid with your point. So we share the recording and everything. Apart from that, thank you to Mansi that she is that much helpful. If you are not able to join the class and join further class, so she takes just 5 or 10 minutes extra and just a recap about those things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. So, just want a frank opinion, guys. Don't hesitate because we are not, and also we are not face to face here. You can say yes or no. I am completely happy and agree with you with your decision. But please let me know if you are continuing your class. So let me start. You can say either yes or no. No worries, because I seriously don't believe to chase up and call to the people that please register and join the class. Abhishek, are you continuing the class? Abhishek Gaonkar, can you hear me? Okay, Surya. Okay. Manmeet.
Hi.
Hi, Manmeet.
Hello.
Yes, Manmeet, I can hear you.
Actually, I'm a third year student, and I was planning that how can I pay that 12,000 rupees? Can it be do it in a EMIs or something like that? So it
Yes, it can be in installment.
sorry.
It can be, you can pay in installment, not a problem.
Okay.
Okay. So should I consider you in for the workshop?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Neeraj. Uh,
Uh, yes, yes. So give me a time. I'll think about it, and I will ping you as a personally.
no problem. No problem. Pankaj. Pankaj is offline. Pukhraj. Okay. For Rinki, I know. Sagar. Guys, it is frankly, I mean, I don't have any concern if you say no. I don't have any issues on that. Sagar, but please speak up. Okay, Sandeep. Yeah,
Hello,
yeah, Sandeep.
am I audible?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Actually, I want to see what class actually, how class going. After that, I decided. Actually, I think this is demo class, but this is only intro class. I want to see demo class.
Okay, so what is your expectation from demo class?
Actually, how's things going? I want to see that how you clear our any doubts because class is going on only weekend. So how if I got any doubt in weekdays, how you are going to clear that?
Okay, okay,
Then you can ping me for your doubt, and even in the beginning of the class, we will be taking up all the questions. And if you want to see how we will be working on that, so I can show you right now, because like I was planning something like that, but my net got disconnected, so the things got the other way around. So if you want, I can
okay.
show you a script running and how basically we go through the sessions.
Yes, yeah, ma'am.
Let me share my screen. Give me a moment. Just a moment. Okay. So I was supposed to
See
take
that
natural language processing with you.
actually
So let me
getting
begin with
couple
that.
yeah.
Okay. So first of all, let's talk about text mining. So basically, when you're working with natural language processing or when you're working with text data, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, yeah, I am able to see. Yeah,
Okay. So basically, when we are working with text data, so we have data coming in directly and it has numeric values. Then we have a completely different approach to machine learning. Okay? In that case, you basically work with numbers, so you don't have to make much transformations. But when you're working with text data, in that case, everything flips around and you cannot really work with the text directly. So you will have to transform your text into numeric forms. Okay. So there, text mining comes in and NLP comes in. Okay. So these are the two types of data structures, basically structured data and unstructured data. The structured data will be something basically coming on from your databases, and unstructured data will be maybe your Facebook post, your YouTube videos, your Twitter feeds, and all those things, right? So these are basically text kind of data or image data, something like that. Now, if you have text data, so what we basically do is the first step of NLP is to tokenize it. Right now, how I'm training is basically, you can say a concise way of it. In class, we will be going more in depth. Okay, I'm just taking you from the top view of it so that it is easier for you to understand, because we do not have the prior topics, right? Okay. So in case of NLP, what we do is we first of all tokenize the data. So let's say I have a particular text, something like my name is Mansi, 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 Mansi. Okay, this is the text written there. Okay, now if I'm tokenizing it, the first step of NLP, what I will be doing is I will be creating uh, tokens, basically picking out words out of it, okay, and creating a vector out of it. So basically I will have my in first index, name in second index, is in third index, and so on. Okay. Now if you see this particular sentence, it does not really make sense to have my and is in it, okay, because these are just extra words. They will not really be useful for me. All I need is name and Mansi, because that is something which is information for me. Everything else is just useless thing, because we don't need extra words. Because if you start using those words and start analyzing those words, you won't get anything out of it. In just garbage values. Basically, if you have just one sentence, you have two stop words here, right? And if you have a long paragraph, in that case you will be having around, say, full stops and the and why, all these things will be there. There will be a lot of punctuations and articles and all those things would be there, so we don't really need them. We only need the important words, right? So we create tokens, and then we take out only the words which we require. Okay. Now even if I take out all these words, I get a vector which will have only name in the first column, Mansi in the second column, and the frequency of it. So under name it will be 1, and under Mansi it will be 3, because I said Mansi, 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 right? It was 3 times. So the frequency comes out to be 3. Now, when you have such data, so now if you try to analyze this data, still you are having some contradictions. So let's take an example that you have two words here. You have beautiful and beautifully there. Okay. Now these are taking up 2 columns of yours. But I do not want these extra columns, because just one sentence I have 3 columns. And if I have an entire text, there would be hundreds of thousands of columns there. And that is just adding up to the complexity of my, basically, the processing time. It will take a lot of processing time. Okay. So what we do is we can do 2 things. Either we can do stemming or we can do lemmatization. What is stemming? Stemming is basically to take out the root word. Now, what is the root word? You have beautiful and beautifully. You have 2 words, right? And if you want to take out and convert this into a single word, what you can do is you can just pick out BEAUTI from it. So you can create just one column with beauty written in it, and wherever you find beautiful and beautifully, for both of these you can just put one under, add one value under beauty. Okay, under this one. Now the difference between stemming and lemmatization is that stemming only looks for the similarity in words. So if you have beautiful, beautifully, perfect, it gives you beauty. But if you have words like good, better, best, it will not consider, because it is not considering the dictionary meaning. So in that case, for this you will have only 3 columns, right? While this will be very good, it will be very nice for you that converted it to 1 column, right? Now what happens in lemmatization is it considers the dictionary meaning of it. So what it will do is, for beautiful and beautifully, because the dictionary, the context behind it is different, right? But for good, better, best, the context is same. You're just appreciating. It is just good, better, best are just same word with different intensities. Okay, so it will be converted to good. All these 3 words would be entered in a single column with good as the column header, right? That is the difference between stemming and lemmatization. So these are 2 things out of which you can use just one, or maybe if you want you can use both. Okay, so this is how you can use
Mansi, I'm not getting your
sequentially.
proper voice. It's too much breaking.
Now you can create this kind of vector which I was saying, right? You will basically have one column
Mansi,
that is name,
sorry,
and under name you will have the frequencies of it.
Mansi, can you
And you will have another column Mansi, and under Mansi you will have the frequency which is 3, right?
Mansi, can you
Now
hear?
let's see how we will actually do it.
Mansi, can you hear?
Let me,
Hello, Mansi, can you hear? Hello, Mansi, can you hear us? Hello, Mansi, can you hear?
okay. So
Mansi, can you
let me
hear?
show the code for this. So here what we are doing is we are finding out if a particular message is a spam or not. Not will be considered spam or a machine learning algorithm. You will establish.
Mansi, can
Yeah,
you hear?
let me tell you. So you will have to create this tabular kind of a structure. Are you able to see my screen?
Mansi, can you hear?
Okay. So basically you have this tabular kind of structure. So in this tabular structure, you will have two. Yeah.
Mansi, we are not getting
Hello.
your voice properly, and also it's not
I can hear
visible.
you.
Yes,
Able to hear
Mansi,
me?
we cannot
Hello.
hear you. I mean, your voice is not proper in between.
Okay. Let's. Are you able to hear me now? Because I am able to hear you better now.
Yes, we can hear you, but in between your voice was cracking.
Hello.
Yes, Mansi, now we can hear you, but in between your voice was cracking. It was not
Okay.
appropriate.
Now is it fine?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Okay. So
Yes,
let me
screen is
continue. So basically, yeah.
your voice is not matching to screen, ma'am. I think your voice is not matching to the screen, madam. So lagging the screen, and your voice is also getting
Okay.
very low, ma'am, in the middle of the class.
Okay. Okay. So now you're okay. Let me continue now. Let me know wherever it breaks. Okay. So basically what you have to create is you will have to create a tabular form. Okay. In any machine learning algorithm, you have two things. One is your target value. This is something which you want to predict. And then next is your input value. This could be anything. Okay. Your input value could be, let's say you're talking about your loan data, then your input value would be maybe your credit score, the amount which you're requesting, your number of dependents, the salary which you have, all these things. And the target would be yes or no. That is, your loan would be approved or not, right? Similarly, here the target is ham or spam. That is, if this particular text message is a ham or it is a spam. Okay. Now you have this kind of data. So basically what you will be doing is you will be transforming this text, this message into a vector form. Okay. You will be transforming this into a vector form. So basically you have this sentence, right? Go until Jurong Point crazy available only. So, and there are a lot of commas and full stop and maybe go. So these are certain points, these are certain values, these are certain words which are not really important. Or let's say you talk about this one, free entry in a 2 weekly comp. Now here in a 2, these are words which are not really of importance. So when you use tokenization, after tokenization you will be removing these stop words. So for this we use NLP and we create a method. Now how you create the method we will learn in the class. So basically what you will be doing is you will be creating these tokens out of it. basically the vector which I said, that is a column for go, a column for until, a column for Jurong, right? You will have thousands of columns there, and in front of, in below each column, you will be having if there is a value existing there or not. So it will be something like this. This is a sparse matrix. So this is first value, and under that value, all these values are present. And if you think about this particular value, some values are missing here, right? So similar kind of, this is a sparse matrix representation. So you will basically have values and numerics here, okay? So basically what you do is you create a function which will create vectors for you and then remove the stop words from it. So this entire piece of code will basically remove the stop words from your data, and after that you apply the lemmatization. So basically when we said lemmatization, we are basically combining the words based on the meanings of it. So if you will have 3 columns as good, better and best, and you apply lemmatization on top of it, it will be converted into just 1 column as good, right? After that you will basically train your data based on this training data which is available. So basically you will make your model learn this particular data, and after that you will make your predictions. So how you will make your predictions is you will fit a particular model. So here I am fitting the naive Bayes model, and I am making predictions. So once you make the predictions, you will get probabilities. So the probabilities are 97% for ham and 0.2% for spam and 2% for spam. So basically there is a 97% chance that the message which we are talking about is a ham. So based on that, it will basically find out and basically declare that this is a ham. Okay. Now this is a very simplistic example, and this is a very simplistic approach towards NLP, but we will be working on a more complex data. So you will be able to understand how everything works and how you implement all of this. So you will be able to code all this on your own after the sessions, each and every thing out of it. And for every session, we will be using this kind of coding approach. So for every topic, I will be training you using, basically explaining the concepts to you. And after that, I will be taking you through the code behind it and how you implement everything. And then as an assignment, you will coding it at your end. Yes, I gave you an advanced level example. This is basically something which you will be covering towards maybe uh, further topics. And
Hi, Mansi.
see, mathematics and NumPy, all these things are they really seem to be difficult, but these are very easy to implement in NumPy. Okay, these are very easy to implement in when you're working on it. Okay, so explaining that would not have given you a further knowledge, because there are too many things and we have a very less time. While when we talking about NLP, you at least got to know what NLP is, right? If you're talking about OpenCV, uh, if you're talking about OpenCV and image processing, currently OpenCV is not the go-to thing. Legacy systems use OpenCV. Currently, we are into deep learning world. So we use deep learning for image processing now. OpenCV is something from the past.
So Santosh has one more question. Santosh, can you ask? Okay, if he is asking that if he miss any session, then how it will be. So Santosh, we will share the recording, as I said before. Apart from that, when you join the next class, so Mansi will take some 10 to 15 minutes for you, especially for those people who have not joined the last class, and will cover and do a recap. Hope Santosh that has answered your question.
Cool. Yep. Great. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
And
So
Sanjeet, we will be taking up all these things while we are in the sessions, because these are things which take a lot of coding, so you will not be able to understand in a brief session.
I have one question, Mansi. Hello, are you getting my voice?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so like we are, if we are creating any script for it like this type, just you tell me. So which type of DVs come for storing the data?
For these scripts, we are using CSV files and text files. But when you will be working, you will be working with different things, like any kind of database you can connect to it. You can connect to it maybe cloud also, so there is no restrictions.
Okay,
You
so
can connect anything to it.
in class we will also give the training related to the DB, or like in any DB you have any DB related to that?
This is not really a necessity, because you won't need such thing initially.
Okay.
Because if you know SQL at your end, then that would be sufficient.
Okay.
okay, so Sandeep, I guess your question is answered now. You were looking for a demo class, right? I mean, this was not planned, but again, it has been covered,
Yes.
right? So, what is
Yeah.
your decision
Yeah.
to continue for the class? Abhishek has
Yeah.
individual. He has some network issues, so he has dropped, but he said that he will continue. Yeah, Sandeep, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Let me give some time. I will ping you at evening. Okay.
Okay, no problem. Okay,
Thank
Rahul.
you.
Yeah, thank you, Sandeep. Rahul, Sanjeev, Santosh.
Yes, from my side, I just want to know like from where, from when we'll be starting our classes.
From coming weekend.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. Sanjeet and Sanjeev. Sanjeet has recently joined, I guess. Sanjeet, you were pinging individual few questions to me. Oh, Rahul has just joined. And Sanjeev, you were in the class. Please, can you share? Okay, no problem. Yes, Vaibhav, ping me. Yes, Vaibhav. Vaibhav, can you hear?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yeah. Please share. Yeah, Vaibhav, please share. You have pinged me individual.
Okay.
And Vishwananda? Vishwananda.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Vishwanath.
Yeah, Vishwa. Yeah.
So I have a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
when compared to online, when compared to offline class, online is difficult to understand, sir, because this is the first time I am going to listening online classes, sir. So it is also be huge amount for paying 12,000 rupees.
Yes, it is.
So
When you will compare with other course, like I said, with other training institute, Mansi is doing a training. We are also associated. So the same course we are selling at 25,000. But here, 15,000 we have kept the fees. Apart from that, we have kept 3,000 rupees discount as well.
yes, sir, I understood. But when compared to offline, online is going to be somewhat difficult to understand. Sometimes it may be interpret occurs, maybe internet problem, screen lags, and sometimes your voice also be not matched to that screen in the
No,
middle of the
these are the problems could be handled, and also there would be no issue with the session online, because online and offline the content is the same. And I have taken several sessions and I have conducted so many trainings, so there has not been any problems till now.
So I would be, I think
And
after
even
completion
like
of class, okay. After completion of class, you can send a complete video on that
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
it will be
on that
sent to
class.
you.
yes, yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, I would like to be joined, sir. I want to take two or two or three more tests, sir.
2 or 3.
Hello,
What 2 or 3 more?
two to three more days to. I will call to you, sir.
No problem, no problem. But this
Other,
offer is for a discount of 3,000 is only for today.
okay,
Okay,
okay, sir. Then otherwise I will ping message on that evening, sir.
no problem, no
Okay,
problem,
thank you, sir.
no problem. Thank you. So, Mansi,
Okay, thank you.
thank you so much. Mansi, I guess there is no further question, and we have another session at 2 o'clock with other candidates. So, guys, I am saying just a small request. Please share your feedback in the WhatsApp group where you are added. What is your feedback about the demo? Right? And the course fees is again 15,000 rupees, but it is a discount of 3,000 rupees for a today. And it was again very wonderful, fantastic to associate with each one of you again in this demo. And see you all. Just explore your career and do your best and get your dream job. All the best. Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday and enjoy with your family. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Stay
Thank
safe.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Nikesh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mansi.
Himanshi.